Dear friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the advantages of learning SAP production planning module. In our previous videos we have discussed about why to learn this SAP production planning module and what are the basic requirements or what are the basic prerequisites for learning this SAP production planning module. So now in this video we are going to discuss about what are all the advantages of learning SAP production planning module from both the sides. Both the sides means we are going to discuss about the advantages of learning SAP production planning module from the consultant's point of view, as well as what are the advantages of learning SAP production planning module from the what are all the advantages of implementing this SAP production planning module from the company point of view. So there are many advantages of implementing SAP production planning module in the real-time environment. So in this video we are going to discuss each and every step in detail regarding the advantages of learning SAP production planning module. Let us start discussing the advantages one by one. Once after completing the SAP production planning module by the consultants, then they will be able to understand the entire business processes and use cases of SAP production planning module. Here we have discussed about the used cases. What are the used cases? What is the meaning of used cases? Used cases means what are the important configurations to be carried out under SAP production planning module. So that we are going to discuss in the second point. Once after completing the SAP PP module successfully, all the SAP PP consultants will be getting more knowledge and they will be getting strong understanding of the SAP PP implementation configurations, namely batch management configuration, repetitive manufacturing configuration, that is REM configuration, and also they will be proficient in implementing this production planning PP process industries, that is PI configuration, and also they will be highly proficient in implementing the sales and operational planning SOP configuration, and also they are able to implement this discrete manufacturing configuration in the real-time environment based on the client's requirement. These are all the important configurations to be carried out in the SAP PP module. So we have already discussed about the very important configurations to be carried out in the SAP PP module, and in this video also we are going to discuss about what are all the important configurations to be implemented in SAP production planning module. So there are many important configurations to be implemented in the production planning module. Say for example, we have to implement discrete manufacturing configuration. We have to implement sales and operational planning SOP configuration. We have to implement production planning PP and process industries configuration. We have to implement repetitive manufacturing, that is REM configuration. We have to implement batch management configuration. So these are all the different configurations to be implemented in the real-time SAP PP module. So once if the consultants are having very strong understanding of the above discussed different implementation scenarios, then only they can be able to implement, then only they can be able to execute, then only they can be able to support, then only they can be able to design the complete production planning module for any organization. And one more advantage is that once after completing this SAP production planning module successfully, all the candidates, all the consultants will be getting strong knowledge in analyzing the main requirements, what are all the main requirements that has to be implemented in the SAP PP module. Once after completing this SAP production planning module successfully, then all the consultants will be getting strong knowledge and understanding on how to implement the end-to-end configuration setup in the SAP PP module. So that means here understand the word end-to-end configuration setup. That means we have to implement end-to-end configuration setup in the above discussed activities, namely batch management configuration, repetitive manufacturing REM configuration, production planning PI, PP and process industries configuration, and similarly sales and operational planning SOP configuration, and also we have to implement this discrete manufacturing configuration. So that is the meaning of implementing the end-to-end configuration setup in the SAP PP module. And one more advantage is that once after completing this SAP production planning module successfully, then all the consultants will be getting strong understanding and knowledge on how to design, on how to implement, how to execute, and how to support the end-to-end projects in the SAP PP module. So once after completing successfully this SAP production planning module, then all the consultants will be getting strong implementation knowledge in implementing the end-to-end SAP production planning module for an organization successfully. So what is the overall advantage? The overall advantage of learning this SAP production planning module is that once the consultants have successfully completed this SAP production planning module, then they will be getting strong understanding and knowledge on how to design, on how to implement, on how to execute, and also how to support the end-to-end project in the SAP PP module. So in this video, we have discussed very clearly about the advantages of learning this SAP production planning module and what are all the important configurations to be carried out in the SAP production planning module, and what are all the major advantages from the consultant's point of view, and also we have discussed about what are all the major advantages of implementing this SAP PP module from the client's point of view. And I want to introduce myself to you. I am Raja. I am having more than 20 plus years of experience in the SAP industry. I have worked as a consultant. I have worked as a practice head. I have worked as a delivery head for many implementation projects, and also I have involved in many implementation projects, and also I have handled many production support and rollout projects. And similarly, I have worked on different upgrade projects based on the client's requirements. And about my on-site experience, I have more than 5 years of on-site experience in Middle East and Europe, handling Middle East and European clients. And regarding my certification areas and interests, I have done my SAP certification in SAP Finance module. I have done my certification in business process planning and consolidation module, that is BPC module, which is highly useful for consolidation reporting. I have done my certification in S4 HANA Simple Finance module. Similarly, I have done my certification in SAP S4 HANA Simple Logistics module as well. And also I have completed my certification in SAP S4 HANA Central Finance module. And very recently, I have completed my certification in SAP Business and Revenue Innovation Management module, that is BRIM module, that is previously SAP Hybris module. So in this video, we have discussed very clearly about the advantages of learning SAP PP module, and also we have discussed about very important configurations to be implemented in SAP production planning module, and also we have discussed about the advantages of learning SAP PP module from the client's point of view, similarly from the consultant's point of view, and also we have discussed the advantages of implementing SAP from the client's point of view. So also we have discussed about many different areas to be implemented in SAP production planning module. Once if the consultants are very strong in the above discussed important implementation areas in SAP production planning module, then only they can be able to implement, then only they can be able to design, then only they can be able to execute, and then only they can be able to support the end-to-end production planning module for an organization based on the client's requirement. In our next video, we are going to discuss about different implementation strategies that has been used for both SAP ECC as well as S4 HANA implementation. Because in our traditional SAP ECC implementation, we are using accelerated SAP methodology for implementation, whereas in SAP S4 HANA, we are using SAP Activate methodology for implementation. So we will discuss each and everything in detail in the later videos. And in this video, I think you people are very clear about the different advantages of learning this SAP PP module and what are all the important areas to be implemented in the SAP production planning module in the real-time environment. And also, you people are very clear about what are all the core areas to be concentrated in order to implement, in order to support, in order to execute, in order to design the end-to-end production planning module in the real-time industry. Thank you.